Well, hello everyone. I am so glad you joined me here today. My name is Lisa Petrich and I'm the youth director here at Unity of Olympia. We are continuing our lessons on finding your Zen in our series this year. And today's lesson is for the littles are power on and power off. And for the older kids, it is loving yourself. Loving yourself, a simple idea, right? We're going to find out more. So let's start with prayer. We have our candle. And we have our little prayer guys. And if we could say this prayer together. Thank you, Spirit, for bringing us here together today. May we live, love, and grow from one another. May we be present and mindful to our own self-awareness. And our quote today comes from Leo Buscaglia. And some of you may know him. He was, I guess, a couple decades ago, he was very popular for his books on loving yourself. And here he says, love yourself, accept yourself, forgive yourself, be good to yourself. Because without you, the rest of us are without a source of many wonderful things. And I wanted to go ahead today, our mindfulness tool, we're going to be using is light. It's simple, it's light. So when you have a light to focus on, you can be mindful by clearing your head and focusing on the light. So you can use your candle, you can use your flashlight. And we've talked before about focusing it on something that you want to focus on and how we can bring more light in the world by sharing our light. So remembering that we are all energy. We are all created with energy. In fact, we can conduct energy. If you've ever had the little experiment, now this ball is a little old, so it's not working as well as it used to, but we would stand in a circle and we would have one person put a finger here on this, there's like little strips there, and then another person puts one here, and then it makes a sound, and it used to light up too. But this was a way, and people would be, and the kids would be like, how does that happen? And I'm going, because your energy, and we're all connected to that through that energy. And when we honor that connectedness and we shine our light, we help the world. We share it with others. So I did find this other quote that I wanted to share, and it says, shine your light on your fears, doubts, and worries, and you will see that it's only been so scary because it's been sitting in dark places in your mind. You are the light. You bring light to a situation. You bring light to a room. So honoring that in you today and in myself. We also have another little way to shine your light. Some of us use light all the time for decorations and for fun. And here's another way that you could just shine your light. Just remembering it brings happiness when you can see something that shines, and light just adds more to it. It's a cute pumpkin already, but the light adds more to it. So we're going to keep him here too. I wish I could keep him where you could see him. Maybe I could put him right there in front of our fish tank over there so you can see the light. Yeah, through this whole thing. So thank you for that. Let's look ahead at our lesson today. Our lesson today focuses on powering on and powering off. And the way that they have us do this, let's read just a little bit with me. It says, sometimes we can feel like we are too full of energy. You can practice controlling different muscles to manage your own energy by turning them on and off. Did you know you could do that? You can do it too. So what they have you do is as you breathe in, you're going to tighten everything up. So let's start with our face. We're going to tighten our face and we're going to breathe in. And we're going to tighten our fists. And then when we breathe out, we relax it. And maybe you could tighten your feet. So breathe in, tighten your legs and your feet. And then when you breathe out, you relax it. And this is a way you can power on and power off. You can control that energy a little bit more when you feel like you have too much. So the back of the card continues with that. It has the feet and powering on with your feet. And then it tells you here, after you've tensed all your muscles, rest and breathe. And I think that's the important part too, is making sure that you're taking the in-breath making sure that you're just tuning everything out, sometimes turning off the TV, turning off the video games, and just laying there for a few minutes allows you to ground yourself. So another way it tells you to try it down on the bottom is to lay down totally flat. Now I'm not going to do that right now. Camera angles won't handle that. We're going to lay down totally flat though. And you're going to try turning the power on everything at the same time. So if you notice the young girl down here, she is all balled up when she turns it on. She just balls up. And then when she turns it off and when she relaxes, she stretches out. And you can do it that way too. It's a fun exercise. I would encourage you to try it. Oh, that's good. And let me know if you try it. You can tell me, and you could make a comment if your family tries it. And just let me know how that makes you feel, that power on, power off. All right, we're going to move on to our Made Out of Stars. Our Made Out of Stars quote today says, "My enemy said to me, 'Love your enemy.' And I obeyed him and loved myself." I'm going to say that one more time. My enemy said to me, "Love your enemy." And I obeyed him and I loved myself. That's from Khalil Gibran. And I want to ask you, have you ever had an enemy? Have you ever had someone that you considered was your enemy? Have you ever felt like you were your own worst enemy? Have you ever said words to yourself that you wouldn't say to a friend? If you have, you aren't alone. We've all done that. Many of us have done that. We have to remind ourselves to say nice things to ourselves. We can be very self-critical. Our inner critic can come out and be very self-critical. We have to watch what they say. So what do we do to love ourselves? Karen Drucker has a song with this verse. "You are the face of God. I hold you in my heart. You are a part of me. You are the face of God." And I would encourage you to sing this to yourself or say this to yourself in a mirror. That would be that mirror exercise of being able to really think about the things that are said here. And what does it mean to love yourself? And what does it mean to be the face of God? And if you're not feeling that, how can we start feeling more appreciative and honoring ourselves for the power that we have? So I found this other quote here that I want to show you. And it says, "Be yourself, accept yourself, value yourself, forgive yourself, bless yourself, express yourself, trust yourself, and love yourself." That's a lot of things to do. It's a lot of things to do. And I want you to really think about what each one of those things would mean for you. So I wrote a song, and it has a verse that says, "I bless the world because I bless myself. Taking care of me sets my spirit free." So self-care is more important these days than ever. Blessing ourselves is self-care. It can look like, blessing ourselves and loving ourselves can look like eating right, getting enough sleep, taking a walk, being with a friend, listening to our favorite music, doing something that we need to be in the moment and to be good to ourselves. Your needs are unique to you, and it's important for you to take the time to find out what it feels like to bless yourself so you can love on yourself. So using the earlier quote, let's go back and look at that Made Out of Stars quote again. And using that earlier quote, though, of love yourself, accept yourself, forgive yourself, be good to yourself. This was Leo Biscaglia's quote. And he said, "Because without you, the rest of us are without a source of many wonderful things." And I want you to think about that. Valuing who you are by loving yourself, accepting yourself, and forgiving yourself continues the conversation. I want you to go deeper, though. And the way we go deeper is making affirmations and reminding ourselves on a regular basis of who we are. So you say to yourself each day this week, "I love myself the way I am." You repeat it. "I accept myself the way I am." Your turn. "I forgive myself." That can be a biggie. Can you say that one too? I am good to myself. And the last one, I am a source of many wonderful things. I love that he said that. I am a source of many wonderful things. You are a source of many wonderful things. This world would be a different place if you weren't in it. So remember how important you are to yourselves and others. So when you practice affirmations, you remind yourself to not be your own enemy, but to be a friend to yourself. So this week, go deeper and say the affirmations, and remember to be a friend to yourself by loving yourself. Once you do, other relationships in your life may change for the better, because we can't truly love another person until we love ourselves. So finding ways to love ourselves helps us to love others. Then take your journal page out and put pen to paper. And when was the last time you felt self-critical? So this is from the Made Out of Stars journal, and this is the exercise this week. Think about a time when you were self-critical. How can you love yourself better in those moments? In those moments that you're being even the hardest on yourself, how can you remember to love yourself? I had a moment this week where I wasn't easy on myself. There was some things going on, and it got to be the end of the day on Friday. Yes, I guess that was just yesterday. And I felt like even though I had accomplished so many things, that I hadn't done enough. I didn't feel like I was enough. I forgot to be easy on myself. And I pretty much beat myself up all the way home from school thinking, why didn't you get this done? Why did you, you still have this to do. And I have to remember there's tomorrow and the next day and the next day. And there's always going to be something to do. But coming home and playing with the puppy, coming home and seeing Mr. Petrich, that was what my life needed to be in that moment, so that I could be the love that I need to share in the world. Ah, good stuff, good stuff. All right, we're going to move on to our Bob Sima healing, our Bob Sima healing card. And he's got a good message for us today too. This is all connected. So it says, how many more hearts gotta ache before we decide to break this chain? Healed people. And it's from the album The Movers, The Shakers, and The Peacemakers. Now, this is a really good song. Healed people, heal people. Hurt people is what he basically is saying. So when we're somebody who's walking around with pain, we're not necessarily working with our healing energies or to be helpful. We have to get through that pain first. So let's see what he says about it. And I figured, nightmare horror movies, that's what a lot of us are watching right now, and some people are watching because of the season, so this will be a different take on it. The nightmare horror movie is not The Walking Dead. It is The Walking Wounded. There is nothing more destructive to humans than facing a wounded human. Nearly all dysfunctional behavior is tied to a wound from a hurt place. Consider any of your not-so-healthy behaviors. You can tie each and every one back to a hurt that you feel, a wound that you experienced, or a suffering that you have yet to acknowledge, admit, address, and resolve. So, when we're young, we have these times in our lives that things are happening, and we may get hurt either by others, and we have a lot of emotions around that. And as we get older, we start to hopefully peel the onion layers back, and we start to accept some of what has happened, and realize too that maybe the way we're looking at things is through a different perspective, and that maybe some of the things that happen, we can use forgiveness, we can use love, we can heal that situation. So that's what he means, I think, by admit, address, and resolve. There's more to it. It depends on how deep those wounds are. The good news is, it is time to address it and move from a hurt person who hurts others to a healed person who offers healing to others. When you take time to lean into any and all of your unhealthy behaviors, triggers, and judgments, your path is clear to a life of healing, growth, and transformation. Lean into it. Embrace it, like we've talked before with the emotions. Find out what it is that's triggering, why you're being triggered. If a moment comes up and something inside you feels feels an emotion that necessarily isn't kind. Find out where that's coming from. So our commitment this week is I will lean into my unhealthy behaviors and leave them behind once and for all. Say that with me. I will lean into my unhealthy behaviors and leave them behind once and for all. I just think that that's a powerful statement. And I'm going to be working with this week too. I'm giving you these lessons, but they're also lessons for me. Know that I get just as much out of bringing this lesson to you as you may get out of listening to it. So we're going to go ahead and we're going to close. We're already there. And we are getting to our 5 basic unity principles. And we're talking about which one did we really discuss today? Which one do you think was the key topic? 1, God is good and active in everything everywhere. 2, I am naturally good because God's divinity is in me and in everyone. 3, I create my experiences by what I choose to think and what I feel and believe. 4, through affirmative prayer and meditation, I connect with God and bring out the good in my life. 5, I do and give my best by living the truth. I know I make a difference. I think when we talked about the light, we were talking about God being good and active in everything everywhere. Because if we're acknowledging that light inside of us and in other people, then that's what God is the light. He's the light of love. And I think that we talked about creating our own experiences by what we choose to think and feel and believe by creating affirmations and going deeper with our lesson. And I think that when we connect with that and we think about the healing and that also that process of if we're hurt and we're having to heal those hurts, doing and giving our best by living the truth helps you to make a difference. And I think that we covered like 3 of them today. So those are the ones I saw. Maybe you saw something different. Let me know. I would love to hear from you. And let's go ahead and say our prayer for protection together. The light of God surrounds us. We are the light of God. The love of God enfolds us. We are the love of God. The power of God protects us. We are the power of God. And the presence of God watches over us. We are the presence of God. Wherever we are, God is, and all is well. Thank you for joining me here today. See you next week.